Now, this might sound redundant and it might sound bypassing, but just entertain it for one moment. If we're not considering that thought is making these pictures in our mind, then we're lost in the pictures in our mind. But if we're considering that it is thought, it is the creative power of thought that is highlighting what's highlighted about this person in your mind, it's thought doing it. It's thought that is separating you from him. He's this way, I'm this way. It's thought that is telling you your personality type is this way. It's thought doing it. And without thought, beyond thought, before thought, there's only the presence of love. That is all that actually exists in the formless reality is love. Thought divides it into categories and details and dynamics and characteristics and all the rest of it. But you want to come back to the truth of love. And you can still have those, but if you can see that those are thought created, you won't entertain the details that it goes into. I'll give you an example. My parents have a really hard time, had a very hard time looking at me beyond the gangster image that I had helped produce in their mind. Obviously, my behavior, my lifestyle in that sense, whatever I did when I was in that life was taking a strong hold in their mind of this is who Shenan is. And years after I left that life, they did not let go of that image. It was projected on me, and that's how they related to me. Now, I've been out of that life 2007. So 10, 15 years now, right? 15 years. There's been many Shenans after that. But they still have a hard time looking at me beyond that. Now, what do? Oh, I wish they looked at me beyond that. I'm not that person anymore. I just can't get over it. How come they don't understand? All of that happens here. It does. And there's no lying about it. But because I see that this is happening here, I don't entertain it further. And I can show up as I am right now. And I can also realize that this is happening in their mind. This is not real. This is not who Shenan is. They can think that way if they want, but that's a them problem. That's not a me problem. Right? The more they can relate to me through those images, the less they're connected to me. That doesn't stop me from showing up how I am. But it's not a decision. I see this to be true, that they are stuck with some images of who I'm not anymore. And they are missing a connection because of it. I show up as I am. As I show up as I am, their images get shattered. Right? They start to see the fallacy of how they're looking at me. It's not making sense. What they see of me and who I am, it's not making sense. Because reality is so much more different. My job is to just be how I am, not to clear up who they think I am. That's their job. That's not my job. In the time that we're in the conversation face to face, those images are not so potent. They're not imposing those images so much on me because there's a conversation present and I'm showing up as I am. I'm not considering that they have images about me. If I consider that, it would contaminate how I show up. Are those images ever going to go away? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of compassion that comes out of me and understanding that comes out of me that I can see why they have those images. Like, they found guns under my bed. they found drugs under my bed, of course they're going to have those images. So that understanding, like, yeah, of course they're going to have those images. It's something is much more different than I wish they didn't. That's my desire. That's my personal desire. And my personal desires are made of thought. Understanding is just understanding. Yes, of course they're going to have those images. Well, it is what it is. That's not who I am. But the difference is that when we're in conversation, the difference is that when they can see me in real life, those images are not so present. They can't be, because who they're seeing and who they're in conversation with is not matching the images they have. So they're forced to have a conversation with who's here now. I was in the news a couple months back. I was doing a speech for kids, and gang-related issues are so huge here in Vancouver that the news is very much involved. And the news interviewed me, and it kind of went viral. Like, everyone was calling me going, hey man, you're in the news, and you're in the news. A lot of people, even my barber was like, I seen you in the news. My mom said the first thing that she seen my face on the news, she thought that it was because I've done something bad. That's the first thing she said. Oh my God, I seen you in the news. Are you doing that thing again? That was her thing to me. That was her words to me. And I laughed. I said, no, you got to actually watch the news and see what it's about, instead of just looking at my face and then telling me that I'm doing the thing again. But to her mind, it was automatic, right? I could have taken offense to that very easily. Mom, are you not paying attention? But I want to see that these people have images in their mind about me, and they've missed me because of the images that in their mind look more real to them. And the only way I can see that is I have to see that I'm doing it to people. That's where all the learning is, all of it. You want to see that you're doing this to others. You have images about others that you are taking to be true rather than who they are beyond those images. If this person is closed, not vulnerable, doesn't emote or express, those are your considerations about the person. You've missed the person beyond that, because those are highlighted. So you want to see that those are images produced and perspectives produced in your mind through the power of thought. That's the only thing producing it. It's not the person producing it. It's the power of thought that is highlighting these things about them. And you want to just consider that it's thought. It's thought doing this. How serious do you want to take it? If you don't take it too seriously, you have the opportunity to be present with this person. And that opportunity will give you an opening to notice other things about this person, or even deeper things about the same thing. Maybe that person being this way is best. But we can't see that because it's not best to us. Right? Like, why is it not best to us? I wish they were a certain way. That's your thing. That's not their thing. If you wish them to be a certain way, you're in your own desires. So as much as it sounds like bypassing, it is bypassing. But it's not bypassing in the sense that you're looking at it as this is something real and I'm ignoring it. No, you're seeing the truth of it. God is creating these highlights in you. And all you want to do is consider that that's what's happening in you. the less you impose images on people, the less you impose past knowledge and experience and interpretation on the person about who you think they are, the more you see them for who they are. And in return, they will see you as that as well. Automatically, because the energy that we show up with is what's getting responded to. Right? So again, my parents see me as this person. They have images, they have trust issues with me. Can't blame them. Honest to God, you can't blame them. Like they've seen some shit about a kid that they raised that they just shouldn't have. It's not their fault. So they have these issues. But the more I show up not considering that to be true, because I understand that thought creates images in their mind about me, the more they respond to who I am today. If they don't see me for a week, they're going back into their images about me. But as soon as they see me, they go, oh, yeah, that's not him. Here's who he is right now. And they're forced to respond to how I am today, automatically and naturally, because it's going against their images. Their images are memory. They're not real. So in the same way, if you're not showing up with the images that you have of this person, if you're not showing up with the highlights that you see of them, you're not giving those highlights life. If you don't give those highlights life, you will see them for who they are, more and more and more, slowly and slowly, little by little. It's you that gives highlights. It's you that gives life to the highlights that thought produces. If thought says, this person is a scumbag, if you get a thought like that, you have a choice on how much life you give that thought. If you give it life, it continues. If you don't give it life, you get the opportunity to see them beyond what thought is producing in your mind. If there's one thing and only one thing people can learn about relationships that will change all their relationships in all throughout their life, just one single thing. It is to see that you're producing images in your mind about people, and that's not who they are. That's all you need to see over and over again. The more you see that, the more you can see the person for who they are, beyond what you think they are, beyond your experience of them. See, this is where experience comes in. Your experience has to be questioned because your experience is made of thought. It's not made of reality. Your experience of someone is false. That's the most direct way to say it. Your experience of anyone, you guys have experienced Shenan this way. You go talk to my parents. They'll be like, what? And you'll be like, what? That's not Shenan. You guys have experienced Shenan differently. They have experienced Shenan differently. Both are false. Our experience of someone is made of thought. And it has to be questioned. You don't have to get rid of it or, not give it significance or value. I'm not saying that because that's effort. You just want to see that all experience that is visible, right? Images are visible, perspectives are visible, highlights of people are visible to us. We can identify them, they're visible. They're made of thought. And as soon as you start to consider that, okay, my experience of this person is not who they are. You have the opportunity to see beyond that. You see them for who they are more, even if it's 1 degree more. And you'll be able to see other traits that are more subtle within them that you might have missed because you're stuck with your highlights. You might be able to see other dynamics within them, other nuances within them that you might have missed because you're stuck with your highlights. Right? Those highlights loosen up because you see they're made of thought. You get to see the person even more, even more, even more. The person likes an apple today. Does that mean they like apples? No, that means they like an apple today. there's a big difference there. I haven't shared this story here, but I've shared it at some point, and it's on video somewhere. My favorite color is blue. I was obsessed with blue growing up. Don't know why, didn't know why, but I just love the color blue. I had so much blue, and I still have so much blue. I mean, I bought a case for my AirPods, and it's blue. I have things that are blue. The color that the microfiber cloth that I clean my glasses with is blue. I chose it, blue. Blue is always around. I was talking to my niece, my best friend's daughter, that I call my niece. She's like 14 now, but she was 6 or 7 back then. And I was telling her, we were playing Lego, and we were talking about our favorite colors, and I was like, my favorite color is blue. I like blue so much, Kaya, that's her name, Kaya, that I have 26 blue shirts, I told her. And I did have 26 blue shirts, dress shirts or t-shirts or, all kinds of stuff. And she looked at me and she said, that's really weird. I know. And I'm like, I know, Kaya, that is weird. And she looked at me again and goes, no, Shenan, it's not weird that you like blue. It's weird that you know the amount of shirts that you have that are blue. And for the first time in my life, I looked at her and went, oh my God, you're right. That is really weird that I know the number of shirts that are blue. That's strange. That's odd. So she helped me get an insight there. And I asked her, what is your favorite color? And she said, today it's green. And I said, what the fuck you mean today? You have a different color every day? And I was just, whoa, what do you mean? I was mind blown that this little child has a capability to choose a different favorite color every day. Today it was green. That was news to me that you could do that, because she wasn't attached to the images in her mind about herself. I was. The next day, it could be pink. It could be yellow. She doesn't know. Next day hasn't come yet. So we're at dinner one time. This is with another kid. It was with my cousin's child. We're at dinner. My mom is there. My aunt is there. My cousin is there. The kids are there. And my aunt brought something for my cousin's kid. And she was giving it to him at the dinner table, and I was eating, watching this. And my aunt goes, I know you love the color, I think it was yellow or something. I know you love the color yellow, so I brought this for you. It's yellow, don't you like it? And the kid looks up to her and goes, well, actually, yellow was my favorite color before, but now it's red. And my aunt was just like, what? Like shocked, right? Because she had thought that this person's favorite color is yellow, but now it was red. And again, I was like, wow, these kids are not attached to the images they have about themselves. Therefore, they're showing up fresh every day. Now, because of that conversation with Kaya, I was able to actually see how attached I was to blue, that it's not actually my favorite color. It's something that I've carried over unknowingly, unintentionally for years. And then I had this unattachment to that all of a sudden. I can actually enjoy other colors. So I did for a while. And I went back to blue, but I went back to blue as an unattached. Oh, I like blue. Not I want only blue. I like blue. This story is an example of how we get attached to what's produced in our mind through thought unknowingly. But there's something beyond that available, always. I like blue today. Right? So there it comes back to that apple thing. I'm really enjoying these apples. Oh, you like apples? No, I'm enjoying these apples today. I'm wearing this blue shirt today. Oh, you like blue? No, I'm wearing a blue shirt today. It's different than labeling me as somebody who likes blue when I'm just enjoying blue today. This person doesn't emote or express themselves versus this person is not emoting or expressing themselves today, right now. Just entertain that it's today, right now. That's not how they are. And you will give yourself the opportunity to see something about them the next day. And I promise you, thought is so creative that if you really don't look at this, it will look so real to you that they're that way, that you're going to bring that to tomorrow, and you will create that experience of them being that way again and give yourself more evidence of something that's untrue. In other words, this person doesn't emote and doesn't express themselves. That's how they are. I've decided and concluded that's how they are. Okay, tomorrow happens. I wake up, I put this image on top of them unknowingly, and I create that same experience. But I don't know I'm creating it, so I put it on them. That's how they are. See, I told you that's how they are. They're doing it again. Or they've done it 4 days in a row. That's how they are. No, I've done it to them 4 days in a row. Unintentionally, I've put this on them, and I've recreated my experience of them. I've recreated my conclusion of them. That's not how they are. I've just put it on them that that's how they are. And thought is so mischievous that you're not going to be able to see this as a truth. You will just give yourself more evidence that that's how they are. It happens in all categories. I'm a failure. I've concluded I'm a failure. So I will create an experience unknowingly that has me fail, and I'll see that I told you I was a failure. There's evidence. You're not a failure. Your conclusion of it has produced the failureness that you have put on yourself, and then you recreate that experience. So you're imposing thought out there on the screen of consciousness, and then you're experiencing what you're imposing, but because you don't know that that's you imposing it, you're going to blame it on everything else but you, confirming what you're imposing is true, but it's not. It's you imposing it. That's the trickiness of thought. So that's why it's not really useful to go into the details of trying to figure out what's thought and what's not. You want to really consider that anything visible is thought created. Right? You go right to the fundamentals. You're waking up out of thought, you're waking up into life. If you can consider that whatever you see and know about a person is your experience of that person, and that your experience of the person is not true, it's thought created, that's all you need to know. You can show up without it the next day. Now, it's arguable. Trust me. It's like, no, Shenan, you know what? I know this person. I'm pretty aware of them. I've really considered what you're saying, but they are usually non-expressive. No, that's what you've highlighted. You've put it on them, and that's therefore you're experiencing it again because you have done that to yourself about the person. This person likes blue. I know they like blue. I'm going to get them something blue. Oh my God, they like green today. My whole plan is unfoiled.